to Just Between Us, your weekly dose of animal videos.
That would probably get a lot of
views. That would do better than our show.
I agree.
So this week, I thought we could talk about how much my OCD impacts my daily life.
Yes, so we filmed this one already, and then we lost it to the gods.
Why are you telling them that?
Because
now they'll know that that's all rehearsed.
It's not rehearsed because I was gonna say I completely forgot what we talked about.
You forgot everything I told you.
100% forgot every single thing. It's all gonna hit my ears like it's brand new information. I don't remember any. I was like hoping that I would so I could like prompt you, but I don't remember anything.
It was that boring?
I thought it was actually really good. I was sad when we lost it. You know what? I'll say a mea culpa. I felt I asked too many questions about how John handled things, and I shouldn't because I don't care about John.
Okay, well, that's, again, rude.
I'm just saying, like, it was about you, and I kept being like, and what does John do? I remember thinking that I'm asking about John too much.
The thing is, though, that my OCD kind of is the most impactful in relationship to him. Because when I'm just doing my own thing, I'm just doing my own thing.
Oh, okay.
But, like, when I have to, like, make changes and deal with discomfort, it's often because I live with a partner and I can't ruin his life.
Sure. Oh, I remember you were upset you couldn't bring the dogs to a restaurant.
Okay, yeah. So, like, a big thing is how much the pandemic has ruined my ability to engage in the world the way that I used to be able to.
Okay.
And liked to.
Okay.
So, like, before the pandemic, I brought Sugar with me everywhere.
Right.
And, like, I don't know, I would wipe her feet and her butt when we got home, but I wouldn't be like, oh, her whole body is now contaminated.
Right.
But now I find it really difficult to take the dogs anywhere where I know they're going to lie down on the floor and I'm not able to give them a bath because I only give them a bath once a week.
Right.
And so that's, like, been a big impact is, like, because I would bring them so many more places that we go to if I didn't have this new hiccup. This is the thing that really sucked, is that this girl, one of our fans, created these amazing antibacterial wipes for dogs.
Wait, I'm sorry, our fan did that?
Yeah, and I ordered a bunch from her, and I was using them for months and months, and now it seems like maybe the company doesn't exist anymore. I know.
If you're our fan, write in.
I know.
Also, wow, one of our fans invented something?
Yeah, and she reached out to me and sent me some for free, and then I was like, I like these so much, I'll keep ordering them. But so, because this is exactly how OCD works, right? There are tons of dog wipes out there. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, that one said antibacterial, I was like, oh, I can bring the dogs places with these because then I can just wipe their bodies everywhere with the antibacterial wipes. And then it will be okay. But now that I'm back to just having to use regular wipes, I'm bumping up against the same discomfort. I have been able to do it a few times, but it is really hard for me. The thing I've noticed is that if I'm putting myself through discomfort about one thing, I can't then really tolerate much else.
Yeah.
So, like, there was a day where we, like, brought the dogs, like, to the vet, and then we went to, like, a restaurant with them, and I was like, I'm being really good. I brought them to this restaurant. But then everything else in the home had to have the most rigorous standards.
Yeah.
And John was like, this is a really bad day. And I was like, yeah, because I did this other thing.
Yeah, I see. When this is going on, do you feel tired? Like physically tired? Or like
I just
exhausted?
feel very stressed and uncomfortable in my body.
Yeah. What do you do? What can you do?
Well, some days I push through it and some days I don't. But, like, for example, you coming over here is hard for me because you make a point to talk about how you're not clean.
I am, though.
But why do you talk about that you're not?
No, well, because it used to be a joke, but now I wash my clothes all the time. I think because I live alone now and I have, like, my little routines and my little stuff. So, like, I'm actually worried I wash my clothes too much.
No, there's no such thing.
There's no such thing. My house is different, like, and how I am is different maybe from living alone or being older, where I get, like, I'm way more, like, there can't be a dish in the sink. Like, I'm very... my previous situations, I think there was more space.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to be hyper aware of what was going on in every corner. But now I very much am. And also, because of testosterone, I'm very concerned about how I smell.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's a whole thing.
That's the thing, is, like, hyper awareness, right? So, like, for example, you can't see it, but Gabe's backpack is on my floor, which is on a rug. And so already I'm going through my mind, well, like, how am I going to clean this rug from Gabe's backpack? Because I don't allow bags into the home.
I haven't done it today, but I do usually wipe the bag.
Really? See, these are the things I want to know.
Oh, yeah, I have Lysol wipes are incredible.
I love them.
So I have them, and I usually wipe stuff down. I get embarrassed more so now because, like, when more people are at my house now because I live in West Hollywood and I run a home for gay boys. On Friday, I was like, people were over, and then I, like, the next day was like, is it so weird to text them and just be like, hey, how did my house smell? If you could give it a sort of a rating. And then I said to Alex, like, did it smell bad? And then he was like, no, I don't think so. And then I was like, it didn't smell like poop? And he was like, oh yeah, we all talked about how it smelled like poop and we decided not to tell you. And I was like, wait, really? And he was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the biggest impact is just like the brain space. That's just like taking up a lot of my brain. I'm like tracking everything. John is like, how do you not remember anything about your life other than like what someone's jacket touched 4 days ago?
Right, well.
I'm like, maybe it's because my OCD is taking up all my memory.
Well, so when you said push through, what happens when you don't push through? Do you just like go home and lay down?
No, I clean the thing.
Oh, okay. But I'm saying when you're out, like at the restaurant, and like the food is wrong and there's a loud noise and also the dogs are touching the ground, is it like, okay, we actually have to leave this restaurant right now or I'm gonna have a meltdown?
No, because, well, I hate loud noises, but is a different thing than my OCD. That's my sensory sensitivity.
Oh, but I'm just saying, like, do they compound?
A bit. I mean, like, I can get myself into a tizzy for sure, but also a big thing for me is like when I'm out of the home, I'm allowed to, in a sense, become contaminated. I just then have to create a way to become uncontaminated once I enter my home, and then make sure that my contamination doesn't then bleed out into the rest of my home.
Oh,
so like that's often why I can like go have a dirty day and like go do dirty things, but I can't then bring that dirt back into my home. So that's why a lot of times actually when I'm traveling, my OCD is less bad because there are not the same rules.
Yeah.
So sometimes travel, Allison, pretty chill. I've also just become very hypervigilant about the couch and in outdoor clothes on the couch, touching the blankets versus not touching the blankets. Yeah. I'm just like monitoring what everyone is doing all the time.
Yeah.
And I wash my hands a lot. I wipe things down a lot.
Yeah.
But again, it's like I'm the creator of my domain. So in a way, like, yes, these things interfere with my daily life, but like in a sense, it's also just like part of my daily routine.
Right. And you're talking about what happens when John exists in this space.
That's harder.
Yeah. So what's the deal with that?
A compulsion is something that you need to do to relieve the discomfort from your obsession, right? Mm-hmm. But I also know that a lot of my compulsions are annoying and rude.
Oh.
So like, one huge compulsion I have is wanting to ask him if he's washed his hands before he does something.
Got it.
And
well, you do that. You do that to me. You do that to everybody.
Right, because I'm ill. Well, with you, it's because I can hear that you flushed after you washed your hands.
Oh, because I touch the...
You touch the...
I touch the handle after I've washed my hands.
And that, to me, undoes everything you've... undoes the hand wash.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But then for him, like, if he's cooking or he's doing something with the dogs or whatever, in my brain I will go, don't ask him. And then I, like, some days I can not ask, and then sometimes it's too strong and I have to go, did you wash your hands?
Is that considered rude?
Well, I don't think he likes it.
Because the assumption is, like, condescending, like he wouldn't have thought to do that?
Yeah, or that I'm just like...
Or you think he's dirty?
I mean, I think both... I think it's many things probably based on his mood and what's going on. Like, it's probably, like, annoying to be treated like you're a little kid and, like, someone monitoring your hygiene.
I'm having a lot of trouble with, like, the order of things. So, like, my brain is so, like, I will pee, get up, wipe, wash my hands because I'm standing. Now I'm washing my hands. Mm-hmm. Then as I'm leaving, I remember that there's something in the toilet and I hit it.
Right. That to me is horrifying.
But why do I forget from the time I stand? Like, I forget that there's something in the toilet I need to deal with.
Well, that's something you can work on. Also, a lot of times I will wash my hands and then determine that I didn't wash my hands well enough and then rewash my hands.
Oh, does that hurt you?
Well, I already am prone to dry skin. Yeah, so I mean, in terms of my overall life, my OCD is like far less debilitating than so many other people's OCD.
Okay.
Like mine is like mild to moderate, I'd say. And
yeah.
But then there are people out there where it's like they are doing compulsions for 10 hours a day. And so I just think it's like it's an insight into like we use OCD like so flippantly.
Yeah.
But like the impact it has on my daily life is like on like in the scale it's like here and like you go, you know. And also like that's all just like my contamination stuff. Like John today was making fun of me because like I can't not work.
Yeah. I know.
Like
Listen,
I can't.
that's a mental illness we both share.
I can't. I feel so unbelievably guilty if I don't feel productive. And that's honestly something I've been getting better at. Like, because I feel like my deadlines right now are more reasonable than my previous deadlines. I have like taken a day off and I took days off and my parents were in town. And I'm like, today I was like, I don't want to write today. I'm just going to do other things, Substack and JBU stuff today. And I kind of like have created a schedule where like Monday I don't work on my books. I like ease myself in with other things. I often feel like I just have contamination OCD, but in reality I have OCD in other aspects of my life too.
The like, compulsion of asking, did I work enough today? Did I work enough today?
Seeking the assurance.
Do you love me? Are you sure you love me?
I don't have that.
You not anymore? Hey.
No, I don't. I know John loves me. But like, another big thing that I have is that I can never trust that I put the laundry detergent in the laundry. So all the time I use Tide Pods. I'm sure I'll get yelled at for that. I don't know why, but I'm sure it's bad. All the time I will put the pods in and then maybe put the laundry on top, or I put the pods in and then I add something back, and then my brain will be like, you didn't put the pods in. And so I'm constantly rifling through the laundry to see if I put the pods in, adding a pod, waiting until the very last minute to add my pods because I know that that's a whole issue for me.
What?
You don't have that?
No. Why don't you use pods?
But yeah, I'm constantly worried that I didn't. Like, I often think I have false memories, or that I didn't do a thing, or I doubt what happened that day.
So what?
That's just life, baby.
Okay, I was going to say, do you have advice for people or people in partnerships that, like, you know, what can they sort of do to exist in a place with other people?
I don't want to get into this because everyone's just going to say that you should never you should never indulge a compulsion, that you should never. And I just wrong. Like that's what the research shows, is that like no one should ever allow me to give into a compulsion. No one should ever reassure me. No one should ever follow my rules. Everyone should be pushing back at me at all times.
No, disagree. Okay, so that helps the compulsion, but does that help the OCD person in their mind, or is it like?
Well, it not immediately, but the implication is that over time you will have less compulsions because you cannot satisfy them.
I don't buy it.
It's exposure and response.
No, I don't buy it. Leave them alone.
No, but also like if I gave in to all of my OCD compulsions, I would not leave my home.
Okay, fine. So you can have one or two as a treat.
Okay.
Oh, I will say the poop smell is from beans. I wasn't talking about myself.
That was not clear.
Oh, I didn't mean my house smelled like poop because of me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think we all assume.
Oh, no.